Well, they finally did it. WB and DC finally made the decision. Wonder Woman 1984 is releasing on HBO Max this Christmas, and we're gonna break that down. We're gonna discuss what this means for the theatrical experience, all that stuff going forward. Coming up next.
Did you rub my lamp?
1,000 generations to the
Here we go.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome to FilmSpeak, where the conversation continues after the credits. If this is our first time meeting, hey, my name is Griffin Schiller. I'm an LA-based entertainment journalist and film critic. And if you want to be a part of that conversation, you're definitely in the right place. Consider subscribing to the channel for more insight, analysis, and interviews behind your favorite entertainment. And yes, we're going to be breaking down all of this Wonder Woman 1984 news here really quickly. I got the Variety article pulled up and everything, but I'm not doing this alone. I'm, of course, joined by a special guest, and today I'm joined by Christian from the Film Optics podcast. Christian, how's it going, buddy?
What's up?
Hey.
Man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Listen, this is different for us because we've done stuff and it's usually like more podcast driven. I don't ever get to see your face. I never get to see your face.
I know, man. I'm a little camera shy, but that's all right. I'll get over it.
For sure. So I guess what do you make of this news first before we go into any of the Variety article where it's breaking this stuff down? What was your initial reaction to just like hearing this?
I actually loved it a lot because I was preaching this a few weeks ago because we heard that, Warner Brothers was, mulling over the idea of, what to do with Wonder Woman 1984 because this is
right.
like the 6th or 7th time it's been technically pushed back. And I thought they're like, let's release it, in theaters December 25th. And then HBO Max in January. I was like, why not just do a dual release? It just doesn't make any sense. Give the people something to look forward to during the holidays.
Exactly. And dude, this is exactly what I've been preaching this entire time, which is they need to be considering a split release option. Yes, we can try and do the best we can to preserve the theatrical experience, but in this, world, it's not, it's just really not feasible to do something like that. So how do you do this? And you do a split release. And I think that's going to be great because the people who want to go out and support the theaters are going to be able to do that. And then the people who don't want to go out, and Warner Brothers is saying, if it's not safe to do so, don't go out. They're going to be able to watch, they're going to be able to watch Wonder Woman 1984 from the comfort of their home for no additional charge. That was important that they mentioned on HBO Max. So let me pull up this Variety article that basically has everything broken down here. Right here. So yes. So just to be clear, the news did not break from Variety. Basically, I think Warner Brothers had a new trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 set to premiere or something like that, and I guess someone released it a little bit early, and so the end card, after someone watched it, they took a screenshot of the end card, and it showed releasing on December 25th in theaters and on HBO Max for no additional charge. So that's how this thing leaked out. And then since then, we've gotten news articles, confirmations on it. Patty Jenkins has gone out and commented on it. And then also Gal Gadot went out and commented on it. So it's legit. It's not a rumor. It's like 100% happening, which I don't think any of us were really, when this whole thing was happening, I don't think we were like, skeptical. I think we were like, okay, yeah, it's actually happening. So yes, so this is the article from Variety here saying it's heading to HBO Max in U.S. movie theaters on the same day, which will be Christmas, December 25th. Internationally, this is key. Internationally, where HBO Max is not available, because I know we do have an international audience here, so this is important for you guys. Wonder Woman 1984 will open in December 16th. So you guys are going to be getting it a little early, you international crew who seem to be doing a much better job with this whole pandemic than we are. And the film will be available for a month on HBO Max in the U.S., included at no additional cost to subscribers. And so here we get into statements from Ann Sarnoff, who is the chair and CEO of Warner Media. And then I believe there's a quote here from Tommy Emmerich too. So we'll get to that here. But this is the quote from Ansarnoff, which is basically saying, as we navigate these unprecedented times, we've had to be innovative in keeping our business moving forward while continuing to super serve our fans. This is a little bit of a tongue twister there. This is an amazing film that really comes to life on the big screen, and working with our partners in the exhibition community, we will provide that option to consumers in the US where theaters are open. We realize that a lot of consumers can't go back to the movies due to the pandemic, so we also wanted to give them the option to see Wonder Woman 1984 via our HBO Max platform. Obviously doing things a little bit differently than what they did with Tenet, because they saw how that worked out for them.
Yeah,
and so, yeah, that's the thing. It's like they had not that Tenet was not a success by any stretch of the imagination, but I think like it would have fared better had they done a split release like what they're planning on doing with this film. And yeah, the article basically goes on to say that there are 50% of U.S. theaters are closed, including in major movie-going markets like New York and Los Angeles, which is actually, living in L.A., they're not even considering opening up movie theaters out here. So this is going to be a great option for us, and especially with things getting worse. It's like they can't even really think about opening up new theaters. So I felt like this was really their only option here. And then we have the statement here from chairman of Warner Brothers Pictures Group, Toby Emmerich, which is saying, we appreciate how patient audiences have been, and given the great anticipation around Wonder Woman 1984, we are grateful to be able to make this terrifically entertaining movie widely available in these challenging times. And then we have one more statement here from Patty Jenkins, who took to social media. Obviously, I feel like she was a little upset about the decision. She did not take it lightly, and you can tell that in this statement. And I do feel bad for her. I do. But she goes on and she says, the time has come. At some point, you have to choose to share any love and joy you have to give over everything else. We love our movie as we love our fans. So we truly hope that our film brings a little bit of joy and reprieve to all of you this holiday season. Watch it in theaters where it is made safe to do so. Check out the great work theaters have done to make it so, and available in the safety of your home on HBO Max where it is not. Happy holidays to all of you. We hope you enjoy our film as much as we enjoyed making it. So Christian, that's the news here. Basically, the Variety article breaking it down. Again, it's going to be hitting HBO Max on December 25th. I want to ask you this, because it is really interesting how Tenet was the one that went out on a limb and decided to do, hey, we're going to open up theaters, or we're going to try and do this crusade, and we're going to do it this way. But Christopher Nolan was not forced to compromise his release strategy. And we get Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman 1984, which is arguably more of a box office, like a proven box office success than most of Nolan's works. And she's being forced to sacrifice her vision. Little interesting there, is all I'm going to say, don't you think?
Yeah. So for the longest time, I really just wanted Nolan to just, I just wanted to see Tenet. I'm all for the movie theater experience, but these are trying times, and I'm not trying to risk COVID, even though I actually did go to the movie theater to see Tenet, but I was very careful about it. I sat completely in the back, row. No one was around me. I had my mask on. I even had gloves on just to be safe. I understand, Nolan's trying to make a quick buck, but I think a lot of these companies are forgetting that not everyone is going to the theaters, and you kind of have to accommodate for your fan base. I understand that Patty Jenkins isn't super thrilled about this, but it would be a different situation if this wasn't like the 7th time this movie's been pushed back. And eventually, I feel like you're going to lose a lot of that excitement and that hype, kind of like what they did with James Bond. They spent all that money on marketing just to push it back. And I was like, in what world was that an okay thing to do? But I agree with Patty Jenkins. I commend her for her decision. It sucks sometimes, but it's not the end of the world. It won't be the last movie she works on. Nolan just, I don't know. I mean, but you kind of have to see a Nolan film in theaters, and I get
Right,
that.
right.
But I mean, I wish a lot of these theaters would have just. I mean, a lot of these movies would have just been doing a lot of the dual release, which HBO Max is doing for
Right.
Wonder Woman, because I mean, if you just give people an option, they'll, they're okay. Like, do I feel safe or comfortable to go to the theater, or do I want to watch this at home with my family and friends? But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that, this is what I've been saying the whole time, is that with all these films that are like trying their VOD releases and stuff like that, there hasn't been a title that's really been enticing, right? There hasn't been like, I would have said Black Widow should have been the first one to do that. No Time to Die, while I, yes, would obviously love to see it in theaters, just as I'd like to see all of these movies in theaters, I do think that maybe a VOD release for that one also would have been a film to usher in, more movies, get more people interested in checking them out on VOD platforms. But there hasn't really been that film. And I feel like this is what we needed. We needed a big budget comic book superhero film that it's the sequel to the most successful female-led comic book movie of all time, Wonder Woman. The original Wonder Woman grossed over $800 million globally. And I understand why they were holding out for Wonder Woman 1984. They're like, well, we can crack $1 billion. We can definitely do that. But there's a strategy here, right? And they're thinking in their heads, well, we got to test this VOD market, this streaming market in some capacity by dropping a film on there. We know that if we release it in theaters, if we do a split release with theaters and HBO Max, it will still be able to recuperate some of the money. Are we going to make $1 billion? I mean, I don't know. It's not something. Probably not. But are they going to recuperate a lot of their money? I think so, because it's going to drive people to HBO Max. You're already teasing people with the Snyder Cut. You're getting people excited for that whole thing. But that's a niche thing, right? Like, general movie-going audience doesn't necessarily know about the Snyder Cut. And that's okay. You're still driving traffic. But then you drop something like Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max. You are going to get people, and especially with people not wanting to go out because of just the state of the world, people will sign up in droves. And this is going to be brilliant. This is a brilliant move for Warner Brothers in terms of just like getting their platform up and off the ground, getting it in the hands of more people, saying like, hey, we did this with Wonder Woman 1984. We might be willing to do this with, other films, depending on like what the state of the world is, because we don't know when things are going to go back to normal. So this is a big move for them, in a smart business move, I might add.
Yeah, I think like I'm very giddy about this because like I love HBO Max. It's honestly, I mean, aside from Netflix, like HBO Max probably is my favorite streaming service, and it's just, I mean, it's like for free. Like for free, it's not like a Disney Plus premiere. They tried it with Mulan. Like I can understand why. I mean, Disney's Disney, but this is gonna. I really hope a lot of other studios kind of follow suit with this, because I mean, especially you like you said, you're going to drive so many people onto HBO Max, and it's like how and you have to look at the retention rate as well, because hey, we have Wonder Woman 1984 coming out, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then we also have Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, we don't really know. We haven't gotten a lot of info about that, but I mean, HBO is where you go to get like the best of the best.
I 100% agree with you. I think and I've said this since they've launched, their catalog is the best, because you're not only paying for the movies or the content that is HBO Max exclusive, but you're paying for HBO's, rotating catalog of films and television. And, obviously their catalog is really just unprecedented. No one can really compete with it. And so already, just based on legacy content and just like the rotating films and just HBO as a stream, as like you know, an entity,
Like
a
your
service or
ecosystem.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. You're already getting great content. Now you make decisions like this, and you start dropping projects like Wonder Woman 1984 on there. It shows that you're coming to play. Like, what is Disney Plus doing? Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. They're dropping Soul on Chris. Now they got to compete with Wonder Woman. Now we're gonna engage in something that's really interesting, which is a digital, like, sort of box office brawl thing. Like, something that we haven't necessarily really seen before, you know? And it's like, how are they going to measure, like, which one is more successful? Can they feasibly do that? And will this force their hand to finally drop Black Widow?
Seriously, that's all I want. That's all I want.
I'm telling you, like, why are they waiting?
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Because Disney, like, man, I love Disney with all my heart, but like, my God, some of it's not even that they're not even really making a lot of the business decisions, because we just haven't heard anything from them. Like, we finally got news about WandaVision coming to the service January 15th, which is a great way to, you know, bring in the new year. But I want to see Black Widow. I want to see Florence Pugh. I want to see, you know, this movie. And they've just been really silent. I totally understand, you know, we're in a very strange time, but I mean, either, you know, just drop it on the streaming service like you're going to with Mulan eventually in December, or do the whole Disney Premiere Plus access. But I think it depends on the movie.
I think what Warner Brothers is showing here is that Premiere access thing was a bad move. I mean, granted, like, no one really knows like how to navigate this really uncharted territory just yet. But by them saying we're going to drop Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max for no additional charge, they're kind of sticking it to Disney in that regard. You know, it's like they're like, hey, listen, we're just going to drop our super film on for free. Well, not for free. You got to pay for the service, but still, like, because they understand
$15 a month. Yeah, that's
right,
like
but
one movie ticket. Kinda.
Exactly. They understand that the value in doing this is that your subscriber base is going to grow, and they're going to continue to pay for the platform because you're promising them these great pieces of content. And then also it'll introduce them to the HBO Max exclusives, just HBO's like shows in general. And so, like, again, I think this is a brilliant business move. But yeah, I guess the next logical question is like, is this where the domino effect is going to kick in? Are we just going to see a bunch of studios start to fall into line and do similar models? Because you know, we saw what happened when Universal took the when they jumped out on or walked out on a ledge there, and they're like, hey, we're going to offer these films for paid VOD for like $20 a rental. That's looking like a crazy decision now with some of this stuff dropping on the streaming platforms. But like, you know, but you know, credit where credit's due. They took the leap and they're like, we got to adapt, right? So with them doing that, with Warner Brothers doing that, do you think that this is going to, that it's only a matter of time, like within the next few weeks or so, we're going to see the studios start to, you know, some of their bigger properties, we're going to see them start to do a similar release model?
I am an optimist, so I'm going to say yes, because I know for a fact that so many people are going to sign up for HBO Max just to watch Wonder Woman, and then, you know, that drives them to watch other things. But I think this is definitely a like, if, you know, if all goes well, not even just, it's because sometimes I feel like it's not even about the money, but it's more about how many people are viewing your creation, your projects. It's kind of like within like the video game realm now you have with Xbox and their Game Pass. It's not more about, oh, well, how many pieces of plastic do we sell? It's like, no, how many gamers do we have? Because we have gamers across, you know, consoles and PC, and, you know, some people play on mobile devices as well, but there's more than one way to play. And now with, you know, the film industry, there's definitely more than one way to watch.
Right.
So I think it can. I think it can definitely be the start of something new, because I'm here for it. There's just so many movies this year I've been wanting to see, but it's like I understand, like, they keep pushing them back, for theater releases. But the big problem is we don't know when it's going to be, when the vaccines are going to come out for COVID, or when it's just necessarily going to be safe to go back to the theater. I mean, as much as I want to, as of right now, whatever's convenient for me is to watch things at home where I'm safe. So as of right now, I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah. And listen, I think by people expressing their excitement, me being excited, you being excited, this doesn't mean that we want to abandon the theatrical experience. Obviously, if I can see a film in like 70 millimeter IMAX, I'm going to go do that because those are some of the best just like film watching experiences I've ever had in my entire life. But that being said, we can't really do that these days, like especially living in hubs where it's just like dangerous to go out and be in a confined area for like long periods of time. It's just not feasible. And again, kind of hearkening back to what I was saying at the beginning of the stream about how the studios have really struggled to adapt to this climate. They've just been holding out. They've just been pushing stuff back. This shows a step in the right direction, I think. I guess the question is, is this going to be the what studios now decide to do going forward, like forever? Like, is this what's going to happen? Or is it going to be a temporary thing?
Yeah.
We have no idea.
You can't really. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
I was like, so it's if this does take off, like, when do you stop? Because I mean, if this is something that you've adapted to, and like you said, it's just it really sucks that movie theaters have tried to adapt as much as they can, for what we're going through, but studios, it's like they're just holding out, and it's like we need something, because yes, there are a lot of things coming to these streaming services, but I feel like the well is going to dry up sooner rather than later. And we're eventually going to need newer, more, I guess, high quality, films for us to watch. And, like like I have my podcast, you have your YouTube channel, and it's like, content creators, they had to have something to talk about. Instead,
they don't care. Listen, they don't care about us. That's not on the forefront of their mind. No.
This is free advertising.
It is. I do want to touch on a few things before we start to wrap up here. Daniel Eckhart brings up a good point. I hope this will make it more likely that HBO Max and Peacock will be available on Fire TV. So HBO Max is actually available on Fire TV right now. So you are in luck. You will be able to watch Wonder Woman 1984 on December 25th. No problem. I hope that does change with Peacock and the other ones that aren't available on there. And then Jay Manley brings up a good point here. The only issue I have with HBO Max is they don't stream in 4K yet.
I wanted to bring this up, and I was trying to figure out a good way to bring this up, because my co-host Devin, he feels the same way. I personally, when it comes to streaming in 4K, like, yes, it's uncompressed compressed files streaming through your television. And if I were to pop in a 4K version of, let's just say Wonder Woman 1984 versus a 1080p version, I could definitely spot the difference of the resolution. But I feel like it's just not really that big of a deal, because I mean, I watch things on HBO Max all the time, and it's never in the back of my mind like, oh my gosh, I wish this was in 4K, because I feel like when it comes to streaming, like the bit rate of, and I'm sorry, I'm getting like super technical here, but like the bit rate of, like, the quality of those streams just aren't really up to par. And just because a streaming service says you can stream in 4K doesn't necessarily mean that your internet service or your ISP, like, your bandwidth is going to be able to. I don't know. I really don't care about it all that much. Yeah.
It's not like proper 4K. Well, but I do think that maybe with this decision, that'll be something that they sort of work on, and they sort of make an available option, because obviously, with a film like that, you definitely want that 4K experience if you can have it. Right. But yeah, guys, we're going to start wrapping things up here. So go ahead, let us know your thoughts and opinions on, Wonder Woman 1984 heading to HBO Max down in the comments section or in the chat if you're watching this live. Do you agree with the decision? Does this make you excited? Are you looking forward to a great holiday season between Soul, Wonder Woman 1984, followed shortly by WandaVision? I mean, it's going to be, we have a lot of content coming our way to streaming. There's a lot to be excited about, and we want to have that conversation with all of you down in the comment section. So definitely let us know your thoughts and opinions. Christian, closing thoughts on this story here. What do you just overall takeaway? Anything else you want to add?
No. I mean, really quick back to the 4K. I mean, it would be great, but it's just not. It's not a deal breaker for me. But overall, with this whole, Warner Brothers making this major decision to release, like a dual release in a sense, I think it is something that studios really need to look for, like to look into, because I mean, I understand it's all about the money, but I mean, like, I feel like the longer that you put these films on the shelves and nobody sees it, what's the point? Like,
you're almost burning more money, and the constant starting and restarting of marketing campaigns. Exactly. I mean, we saw what happened with No Time to Die. No Time to Die was in the tank, a lot of money after that second marketing campaign. And it's gonna take a while for them to make that money back. And so I think Wonder Woman was like, we really can't do the same thing here.
Rip off the Band-Aid and let it be. Just let it go.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what sort of happens there. Real quickly, Armando here with another question. What percentage of people do you think will sign up for a 7-day free trial, watch it, and then cancel the subscription? So yeah, there is that thing, right? You might not get people who keep the service, but granted, you have the Snyder Cut coming. Plus, if they keep continuing to do this sort of thing where they're releasing films on HBO Max like Wonder Woman 1984, then you'll get people who want to stay subscribed. But look at it this way. Each subscription that they get is basically like someone purchasing a movie ticket. And so if you get all these people signing up for HBO Max just to see Wonder Woman and then they cancel it, yeah, it's not great for the longevity of the streaming service. And I'm sure many of those people will come back when another film or something is there that they're interested in. But that's the equivalent of buying a ticket, and so I guarantee you they'll make their money back still, regardless. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this stream here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, let us know your thoughts and opinions on Wonder Woman 1984 heading to HBO Max. I'm telling you right now, I think it's a seismic shift in the entertainment industry, and I'm really curious to see what happens next. But most importantly, thank you to Christian for joining me on this stream. Christian, where can everyone find you?
All right, so everyone can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optics. That is Optics with an X. And you can also check out our podcasts. We talk movies, comics, video games, all that jazz. We're available on pretty much every podcast platform you can think of, minus SiriusXM. We're coming for you next, by the way. And you can follow me on my personal Twitter at Music City Nerd. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, definitely go subscribe to Christian's podcast feed over there. Him and I do a weekly His Dark Materials recap show. So again, another show that's on HBO Max. So definitely go sign up for that if you want to watch that show. But it's always a great time doing all that good stuff. But guys, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the FilmSpeak channel for more editorials such as this, video essays, movie reviews, all that good stuff. We like to say the conversation continues after the credits, and of course, we'd love to have you be a part of that conversation. So consider subscribing to the channel. You can also like FilmSpeak on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, just search FilmSpeak. And if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, that's going to do it for this stream, guys. Thanks for tuning in again, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.